you know, as a man, he was a businessman. He had a lot of things doing, a lot of responsibilities, and you know, as I said, he was one of the hardest working persons I have known. It was after he passed in 2014, we really look back on a lot of the trails and a lot of the symptoms and a lot of the experiences with him. And we really learned that he was really suffering from depression.
What I find is that a lot of people will make reference to somebody that they lost to depression, or they think back in a few years back and had issues with somebody, and then being able to identify that, yo, maybe that person was depressed at the time, because they weren't able to identify it. They can't put a face on it. Like you said, it's not something that is easily visible, and then they'll look back, you know, hindsight is 2020, and then say, oh, well, maybe that person was depressed. As in, is there any situation you can recall where, looking back now, you can look at that person and say, oh, maybe if I known what I know now, it would have been different, or that you think was affected by depression?
Yeah, for sure. As a matter of fact, my father, actually, you know, he passed in 2014.
Okay.
And I can tell you, my father was one of the hardest working individuals I have ever known. And, you know, many a times you'd hear him, you know, come home and talk about different things. And of course, as Jamaicans especially, we tend to look on that as, you know, at first glance as a complaint or just somebody being miserable. But the point is, a lot of what he was going through at that point in time prior to his demise, you know, I and my family, we probably wouldn't have made sense of it really. You know, as a man, he was a businessman. He had a lot of things doing, a lot of responsibilities, and you know, as I said, he was one of the hardest working persons I have known. It was after he passed in 2014, we really look back on a lot of the trails and a lot of the symptoms and a lot of the experiences with him. And we really learned that he was really suffering from depression. As a matter of fact, my sister, who is actually studying to be a registered nurse now, of course she's heavily into the craft, and she recently just did the course on depression in adults.
Okay.
And she reached out to me just a few days ago to say that, especially now that she's doing this course, she really was able to identify that a lot of what my father was going through throughout his years was a telltale sign of depression. But of course, to the untrained eye, you know, you don't see it. And especially in his case, and I mean, I can say this openly, he would always talk about his issues, right? And again, to the untrained ear, it's just listening to somebody's complaint about something, and then we tend to believe that, all right, they've complained about it, and that's it. They've said it, and it's done.
That's done. Right.
But the truth is, it's coming from a deeper place of struggle, of depression, of sadness, of grief, and it just continues to you know, take the shape of what we deem as a complaint. So yeah, it's really something that is hard to detect. But when it's there, it's really dangerous. And I'll tell you as well, I am pretty sure that he struggles with depression, even though he wouldn't have said it openly that it's depression, because maybe he himself didn't really know
that it is.
I am sure that lent to the myriad of health issues he endured or suffered before he passed. The medical report revealed that he had 5 causes of death.
5.
Right. So that moment when everything went wrong, it was literally like a domino effect. One issue triggered the next, and triggered the next, and triggered the next. But the truth is, if I could go back, and I'm sure, you know, my siblings share the same sentiment. If I could go back, not saying that we would have been able to fix it, but having an idea or having more knowledge now as to what depression can cause and what it looks like, I would have definitely done a lot more in being more attentive and in touch with him on the notion of what his issues were.
I want to touch on the one of the things that you mentioned, because like I said, it is a domino effect. You being depressed can lead to other medical issues that can result in And we don't want to get to the absolute end of the spectrum here, but it can result in more serious issues.
For sure.
And a lot of people don't necessarily realize that. Not only from you self-medicating to some extent, but maybe abuse or, like alcohol or drugs or anything to that effect, but your body usually is able to detect when certain things are wrong, and if you're not eating right, if you're not doing this in a certain way, then it could easily become a far more serious problem until it just gets to the point where you can't help it anymore. But yo, thank you.
Yeah, man, no problem. Cool.